right now. I think you will come.
Yeah, send them a message. Okay, last time we started the topic of traffic data collection, and I told you it says traffic data collection and reduction. Reduction does not mean reducing the data or decreasing the data, it means summarizing the data. So as a traffic engineer, we need to have the knowledge of how to collect traffic data and how to do the analysis for the traffic data, which is what we are covering right now. So we need the current state of the system, we need to know it. We also need to know what is the demand for the system. We also need to know what will be the demand in future. Okay. The thing which we need to take care before you go and start collecting the data is the purpose of our data collection. What analysis we are going to perform. Then traffic, we also need to keep one thing in mind, that traffic does not mean only vehicles, it means all road users, all types of travelers, and these travelers can be using spaces which are other than the road. Okay, so you need to take care of all these things. There are some existing sources of traffic data, such as online systems, as well as the tracking devices which we are already using in our phones and vehicles. They can be used for collecting traffic data. And then we have devices which are used for other purposes. For example, traffic data collection and so on. Okay, so their data can also be helpful for us. If we cannot use one of these approaches, then we have to go in the field and collect traffic data. We can go there and do it manually, or we can put some detectors on the road which will do it for us. Okay, and another option is to do video-based measurement. So you collect a simple video of the highway, and later on, when you come back, you extract the data from the video manually or using software. There are softwares which are specialized in this. Where do we use traffic data? For managing the system, for doing future projections, knowing driver behavior, finding out factors which we use in our analysis. Today we will do it for one of them. Doing follow-up for our changes, finding out impact of any new development on the traffic, and finding out the current state of the system. These are the types of studies which we discussed very briefly yesterday. Volume, it is related to demand. The speed, it is related to safety. Travel time is related to drivers, how they select their route. Delay is how to get people mad. Okay. Density is related to driver comfort. We cannot do it directly. We have to use a detector. And the last chapter we saw some equations in which density can be calculated. Then we have accident studies, focused on accidents, parking studies. One thing which I did not mention, that even in parking studies we can do interviews. We can ask people about their choice of location and choice of how they would like to cross the road, pedestrian bridge, or so on and so forth. The study for heavy vehicles, because they can cause a lot of congestion, okay, which we see normally in the industrial areas as well as in the education areas. Then we have pedestrian studies. That one was parking studies. Parking studies as well as pedestrian studies, they include interviews. We have calibration studies in which we develop new equations, okay, which we did in the last chapter as well. Observational studies is another name for follow-up. Okay, we are following up the changes. Then we move on to the methods of data collection. We have three types of methods. Manual, in which you go and record the data yourself, and the other two involve some detectors which will do the recording for you. Okay, we're discussing manual methods. We said manual methods has to be shorter because longer will increase the error, okay, and the chances of person going to the hospital, and you have to keep it for few locations because more locations means more people. Okay. What type of studies you can do? You can do counting, you can do speed again connected to travel time, you can do observational studies, follow-up studies, and you can also do intersection delay studies. Okay. we will not discuss about manual counting in this chapter. Okay, but there are other studies, as I already mentioned, which are done manually. Okay, and we will discuss some of them later on. Here we are discussing manually, or our focus will be on manual counting, because manual counting is normally the longest one. So it's more critical. It has more problems. Okay, so like I told you for the project, you will do the speed for 10 cars. That can be finished in 1 minute. Okay, but the counting will be 15 minutes. So counting is related to time, so it becomes the longest one. Other studies are usually shorter. But if you want to do any study manually which has longer duration, the same will apply to that study as well. Okay? So if you do manual speed studies, and that is for longer duration, you have to apply the same concept there as well. Okay? So in manual counting studies, when we use this guy, huh?
Yes. Three.
Him as well?
Yeah.
Him as well? Oh, good. You have done one interior shift. Okay. So in manual counting, you will use some type of hand counter. Okay, I showed you some pictures in the last lecture, and some of you use your phones as well for counting. They are counting apps and so on, right? So it's a hand counter, right? It's a portable hand counter. You click it and so on. Now in the project, I've asked you to do the counting for how many minutes?
15.
15 minutes. Okay. For the first task, only 15 minutes. Okay. In the last task, you will do it for 1 hour. So you will do it 15 minutes 4 times. And in the same way. Okay. And this is how we do the counting. It is never the total. Okay. It is done in intervals. It is done in intervals. So even if you do it for 4 hours, okay, the client may ask, okay, this is the count for 4 hours. I understand. But what was the count in the first hour, in the second hour, in the third hour, in the fourth hour?
But
and then in each hour, what was the count in the first 15 minutes, second 15 minutes, third? No, you get my point. Okay. So you may have to, or you will have to divide your count in different smaller intervals. Okay? You are saying something?
yeah, but in task 1 only 15 minutes
Only
for one interval.
one.
Okay. So
Okay.
only just 10 cars. Not
For
40.
speed.
For, yeah.
Speed of 10 cars.
Yeah.
But counting for 15 minutes. In 15 minutes, you may have 400
More
cars.
Yeah.
Okay? What was the thing? Nobody knows.
Counting.
I can start teaching physics. You will not mind. Huh? Counting. So, now, when you go from one interval to another interval, you have to write down the value somewhere, right? And you have to set the counter to 0. You can start again. Okay? So while you are doing this, it will take few seconds, right? And if you are doing it manually, it may take more time. Manually meaning that you are doing it on a piece of paper and you have pencil and so on. Okay? It may take more time. Okay? So while you are shifting and resetting the counter, you are missing few seconds of count, right? Few seconds or maybe more. Okay? So this is the missed count. Okay? This is the missed count. And I also said at the beginning that even if this is not the problem, while you are doing the count manually, we need to divide it into breaks, not breaks, shifts. You need to divide the manual count into smaller breaks, whether he has to reset the counter or not. Because if you do it for a longer time, continuously, what will increase?
Number of counts.
Yeah, it will increase, yes. But errors will increase. Okay? The errors will increase. Like a 3 p.m. class. Okay? Keep on studying from morning and then you have these phases that keep the social. Okay, you are fine, right? He is fine. So he used to come late in the 18 class. Okay, so the point was that as you go longer in the time, the chance of error increases. Okay, so because of these two reasons. Okay, resetting the counter, and for minimizing the error, I need to give the observer small shifts in which he will count, and after that shift he will take some break. Okay, and the break can be used for resetting the counter, drinking Pepsi, and so on. Okay, no problem. Okay, clear? That's the difference between counting and 3 p.m. class. Okay, so breaks, the break which you are giving to the observer, they should be systematic and uniform. You cannot take them randomly, and you cannot leave it to the observer. Okay, you tell me after the count when did you take the break. No. Okay, because then you will have problems with your calculations. Okay, in the end I need the full count, right? Who is taking the break? The observer or traffic? The observer, right? Traffic is not taking the break. So in the end I need the full count. Okay, the break is the limitation of the observer. But in the end I will do something to calculate the missing count. Okay, so that's why for this calculation I need the break to be systematic and uniform. Yes. Okay, so systematic means you plan it in advance. Okay, you plan it in advance. You tell him from the start that this is your break period, from start to end should remain the same. Okay, whether you are feeling okay or not okay or whatever. Okay, this is a break, and they should be uniform. You tell him, okay, 5 minutes break after half an hour. So whether it's the first half hour or the 10th half hour, it will be 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes. Got it? Clear? Sure. Now, there are two methods to plan the break. Okay. First method is alternate, and the second method is break in the counting period. Alternate means what? Break and counting period have the same length. Okay. The number of minutes for which I am counting and the number of minutes for which I am taking the break, they are same. Okay, and they are alternate. So I start from counting for half an hour. I'll take the break for half an hour. Then again count for half an hour, again break for half an hour. Clear? This alternate. The other method is break in the counting period. So in this method, I give him the total time, and a small part of that total time is his break. And I tell him in advance. Okay? I tell him 15 minutes is the count period total. In 15 minutes, 2 minutes is your break. Okay? So 2 minutes is very small part of 15, right? Now it's up to him. He can take 1 minute in the middle, 1 minute at the end. No problem. In the end, he will take a break of total 2 minutes. Clear? Okay? So I said we take the break systematic and uniform so we can do the calculations later on, right? Okay? So if we took the break alternate, so what will happen? I have a count, then a break, then a count, right? So I have a count before the break, and I have a count after the break, right? And I want the value in the middle. What will I do?
Average.
Average, right? You have this value and this value. You want the middle value. You will do the average, right? Clear? Okay. Now let's say he did the count for, I'm talking about the other break period now. For alternate, I will do the average. The other count period where the break is part of the counting period. So I tell him, okay, you count for 1 hour. Your total time is 1 hour. In 1 hour you take 10 minutes break. So how many minutes he is counting? 50. Said something else. For 50 minutes, he gave me a value x. Okay? But I want the value for 1 hour. The value is for 50 minutes. What should I do? What should I do with this value?
Convert.
How? Tell me. X upon multiply plus minus what?
Dot.
50 times
Divide
the
plus.
value divided by the amount.
Say again.
50 times the value divided by the amount.
X times 1 over 50.
X times
1 over 50. Interpretation.
3 p.m. Soldier is dying.
You can make it for 60 minutes about the unknown value.
Okay. You know what I did? Huh? Tell them.
Conversion from minute
Why did I divide by 50?
to convert from minutes to hour. Cross multiplication.
Huh?
Cross multiplication.
Cross multiplication. Yes. Okay, got it. Everybody got it. Sure. I will leave it like this. Okay. No? Not sure? When did you take statistic?
Huh?
Many years ago, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Divide by 50 because it was taken for 50 minutes, right? So it becomes per minute. Multiply by 60 because I want it for 1 hour. And the people who are still thinking 1 hour means 60 minutes on planet Earth. Okay? Clear? Okay? Divide by the number of minutes. Multiply by the number of minutes you want. Okay? And this is what is written here in this slide as well. But I explain to you so you understand. It's not an equation which you have to memorize. Average and cross multiplication. Okay? Clear? No, you will still cry in the exam. At least I can say it was cross multiplication. You will still be looking at the paper. Cross multiplication. Yes. This is what happened. Okay. We have a 4-lane freeway, meaning 2 lanes in each direction. They counted it from 4 to almost 6 p.m. Okay. And now you can see the 2 lanes for east and west directions, eastbound and westbound directions. Okay. Now in each time interval, how many values you see? In each row, how many values? No. How many values you see? Not how many columns you see. How many values? 2, right? In each row there are 2 values, right? Huh? Which means in each time interval they were only counting for 1 lane in one direction, right? One lane here, one lane there. Okay? So they were never counting both lanes together. They were never counting both lanes together. Why? What's the reason? The reason is accuracy. Okay? When you count lane wise, then vehicles are coming in a sequence. One goes the next, one goes the next, right? They cannot go together in the same lane, right? Okay? So this increases your accuracy. Because vehicles are going one after another, right? What error can you have? Okay? So the chance of missing a vehicle and missing a count becomes very low. Okay? So that's why. But that also means I need to increase the number of observers. If I have 4 lanes and one is counting each lane, then I need how many observers? 4, right? The number of observers should be equal to number of lanes. Okay? So you need more accuracy, but then you need more observers as well. Okay? So these poor guys didn't have 4 observers. Okay? So what did they do? Okay, they said 1 observer each direction and he will shift from one lane to the other. Okay? So he was doing lane 2 in east and the same person did lane 1 in the next interval. Got it? Clear? Everybody, clear? Okay. Now each count is for how many minutes? 12 minutes. Okay. And a break is 3. Okay. So which break method they are applying? There are 2 methods of break, right? Alternate and break within the counting. Which one is this? Within the counting. Okay. They have a total period of 15, out of which they took a break of 3 minutes. But if you look at the columns, the values, you will see alternate value, right? One value and then break, not break, one value and a gap, then a value. But this gap is not because of break. This gap is because of shifting. You got my point? The observer is taking a break for 3 minutes out of 15. But you see the gap in the values because then he shifts to the other side. Got it? Clear? Any questions? What's your name, my friend? Yes. Okay. Clear? So, first thing we need to do in this example is to convert the 15-minute counts to, convert the 12-minute count to 15-minute counts. Okay? All these values are 12 minutes, right? We want it to become 15 minutes. Okay? So, this is the first thing we'll do. Take out your calculators, phones, whatever you use to calculate, and you will not bring it in the exam. Okay, so time 4, then 4:15, then 4:30, 4:45, 5. 5:15, 5:30, 5:45. Okay, lane 1 for east. Where did I go? Okay, lane 1 for east, lane 2 for east, lane 1 for west, lane 2 for west. Okay. So lane 1, the first value is 350, right? Okay. The first value is 350. 350 for 12 minutes. So 350 divided by 12 multiplied by 50. Okay. Now you do different lanes, huh? Okay. Do different lanes, so we finish fast. Okay. You are doing what? Lane 1 east, lane 2 east. And
What is the east and the west?
directions. Highway has 2 directions. Right? Yes. Yes. 438. Where is it? 438. Okay. Next. We have to do all, okay?
Lane 1 east, 445.
Say again.
462.5.
462. Okay. Next.
Here 450. Lane 2 EB.
Which one?
Lane 2 EB. 415.
415.
50. I counted for the downward.
Then 475.
Which one? This one?
Yes.
475.
462.5.
462. Okay.
424.
425. Okay. What about these two values?
431.25.
431. Okay. And this one? 400?
Yes.
Okay. West.
356.
Which one?
Lane 1.
Lane 1. 356. 375.
350.
350.
Yeah.
Okay. Last one? This one is 450?
No,
How come?
325.
325. Which one is 450? This one 450? Or no? No. 387.
We rounded up or
What was it?
387.5?
It. Okay.
425.
425.
That's like the first one. 380.
385. Okay. Done, huh? Done. All values are now 15 minutes. Okay. So first thing is solved. There was a 3-minute break. We solved for it. Okay. The second thing is there's a gap of, or there's an alternate gap in all the values. Right? There's an alternate gap in all the values. Okay. So how do I fill the alternate gap? I told you. So for example, how do I get, now pay attention here, how do I get this number? Between 438 and 462, I do what? Average. Okay, so we will do the average. First, forget about the first one right now. Because I can only do the average if I have two values, right? I don't have two values for the first one. We will keep it till the end. Okay, this one, how much?
450.
450. Then
447.
okay.
415.5.
416.
Okay. 4,
463.
3, 4, 6, 9.
444. 444.
444. Okay, same thing. Last one, I cannot do it because I don't have two values. 3, 6. Where is it? 3,
Number 6.
6, 5. Okay. 3, 6, 3. And 3, 3, 8. 401. 4,
19.
19. 407. Okay, clear up to here? Any problem? There was a 3-minute break. We divide by 12, multiply by 15. 3-minute gap finished. There was an alternate gap. We took the average, alternates finished. Now the only thing is the first and the last values of the columns because we don't have other values to take the average. Okay? So we will apply another method for it. So I know, so you see this value 438 in the first column. Okay? If I was doing the average for the middle value, then 438 should be the average of the missing value and the third value, right? Okay? So if I call this value as x, then 438 should be the average of 450 and x, right? Sorry, 450. Yeah? Okay, so this is how I will find x. Okay, how much is that? Okay, same thing will happen here, right? 425 is the average of 444 and the missing value. How much is that? Why do you relax? Keep on doing, okay? Today we are just doing this. What, tired? Okay, this one. Okay, and this one.
Place 16.
Okay, any problem till now? Is it clear? Okay, this is the first part of the question. All the questions are mentioned in the second slide, the other slide. Okay, I'm just going through them. Okay, the first part of the question is complete this table, which we did. Okay, we got rid of all the missing values. Now the second part of the question is, I will show it here. Part B. We have to find out the peak hour volume, and the peak hour factor for each direction. And what? Freeway. Okay, now what is the freeway? Each direction we know, right? We can see two directions over here. Okay, but now what is the freeway? Okay, then you need to read the question again. Read the first line. Traffic volumes on what? 4-lane freeway. So freeway is like the name of the highway. Okay? Freeway is the name of the highway. So when they say freeway, that means do it for combined of both directions. Okay? So freeway is not something new. So do it for each direction and then combined of both directions. Clear or not? Clear? Everybody? Okay. So now for each direction I have two lanes, right? I have eastbound, and then I have two lanes for eastbound, and then I have westbound and the two lanes for westbound as well. Come on. Okay, and then I have the freeway. But the freeway, understand that it is combination of both directions. Clear? Okay. So now I come here. I want the total of eastbound for each interval. So I will take the two lanes and add them together. Okay, tell me. 876. 9.
901. 925.
5.
931.
31? Okay.
I don't know. 909 maybe.
909?
It's 75. 841. 800.
Okay, we are just adding them together. Okay, now for west. How much? 800?
No, 734.
7?
34.
Okay. 734. What did you add?
757.
401 and 356.
757.
757.
77.
We are adding these two together. Yeah, next one was what?
779.
779.
794.
794.
788.
788.
757.
757.
721.
7.
No.
No,
726.
26. Okay.
And 325 plus 369. 600 or something.
690 something.
Yeah, 94.
94.
So for the eastbound last reading, isn't it supposed to be 806?
Which one?
Eastbound last.
Yeah, 806. Okay, now freeway I told you is combined. So you take both directions, add them together. Okay, how much?
Combined.
8, 7, yeah, these two columns. East and west. You combine east and west. How much?
610.
Huh?
610.
1610.
1658. 1704.
1704. Okay.
1725.
172 to what?
1725. Yeah.
To 5. 1697.
1632.
1632. 1567. 15. Any problem up till now? We added 2 lanes, we become 1 direction. We add both directions, become the highs. Okay? Okay. They were asking for peak hour, right? Each value is for what? How many minutes?
15 minutes.
15 minutes. Okay. How many 15 minutes to 1 hour? 4. Okay. So if I combine 4 values, becomes 1 hour, right? When I combine 4 values, it becomes 1 hour. Okay. Any 4 value will make 1 hour, right? Any 4 values will make 1 hour. Okay. So again for each direction and the freeway. Okay, if I combine the first 4 values for eastbound from 876 to 931, okay, I am doing it for which time? From 4 to 5, right? 4 to 5. How much is that?
3673.
36. Okay, now if I combine the next 4 values starts from 901, right? 901, and then the next 4 values up to 909. So I am combining what time now? 901 starts from 4:15, right? Starts from 4:15 and ends at 5:15. Clear? Okay, how much is that? 901 to 909. Three six six six. You made it yourself?
No.
No? Okay. And that was number. No?
3640.
931 to 841.
So we're taking the values between 415 and 515, right?
What?
All the values starting from 415 until 515, right?
No. Which one? For 3666?
Yeah.
Yeah. Starting at 415. So the second value.
344.
Second value starts at 415, right? Yes.
3446.
Next. Three four three one. Okay, same thing for the east one now. Oh, sorry, for the westbound now. 734 to 794. 3064. Next. 757 to 788. Say again.
3118.
Next. Say. Huh?
Three double one
3 1 1 8.
eight.
Doctor, if we begin
Repeating the
from
values.
if we begin from 415 to 515, we count the 515 also, yeah?
No.
Oh.
This is the start of 515. I want till 515.
So from 415 until 5.
Yeah, because this is starts at 5 and finishes at 5. I just wrote the start time. Okay, last one. 2965. Now for the freeway, I just add them together, right? Add the directions. How much? 6 7. Huh?
0 0 0.
6 7. 6 7 8 4.
6 7 5 8.
Why this is 6 700? 64 and 33 doesn't will not make 100.
What's that? 6 with 8.
6 6 9 7.
You had the eastbound with the westbound, yeah?
Yeah, 3 6 3 3
Ah,
3 0
okay,
6
okay,
1. Okay. What about this one? 3 7 5 8. 3 what? 21. Okay.
Doctor, the one before once 3,000.
No, it's not 3000. Who told you it's 3000?
You wrote it.
Huh? Okay, any problem up till now? Clear? Huh? Everything is clear? That's it. Clear? Chosen? Clear? Okay. Jabir?
Yeah, okay, clear.
Huh?
Always a clear.
No, I'm back clear. Yes.
WB have we counted?
Huh?
Third, EB.
Which one?
EB.
EB, yes, eastbound. Which EB?
How we count?
Which EB? This one or this one?
This one, yes.
This one? We took the 4 values from here, right? 4 values, then 4 values, then 4 values. Added them together. 4 values means 1 hour. Yeah. Clear? Okay. Now our life becomes easier. We just need to find out where is the peak hour in each direction and for the highway. Okay. So if I look at the eastbound, peak means the highest one, right? Peak means the highest one. So which one is the highest one? This one, right? Okay. So for east it is the devil's number. Okay. For west, I have 2 values, both of them are high and the same. Okay, both of them the highest and exactly the same value. Okay, so in this case, we look at the flow. Which value has the highest flow? So if I look at this value 3118, the first one, okay, this was made from these 4 numbers, right? Which one is the highest? Okay, so for the first 3118, this is the highest number of flow, right? If I look at the second one was taken from these 4 numbers, right? 779 to 757. Which is the highest? Same, right? So in my calculations, it will not matter. I can pick any one of them. Okay? But I told you the 2 reasons to pick any value. Either the highest value, both of them are highest, or the highest flow. but both of them have the same highest. So for my calculations, it doesn't matter. I can pick any one of them, no problem. Okay. Okay, for the freeway, this well, right? Okay, this is the highest well. Okay, so now we have the peak hour volumes. Okay, the peak hour, the volume in the peak hour. Okay, how many vehicles in the peak hour? Okay, now what is the timing of the peak hour? Tell me. 3666.
Four.
No, timing of the hour and the peak hour, right? Which hour had this? 3666. Eastbound. Which one? How do you get 3666?
Okay, from 4:15 to 5.
4:15 to 5:15. 5 is the starting time, right? Finishes at 5:15. Okay, clear or not? Everybody, clear? Okay, so the timing for east one is 4:15 to 5:15. Okay. Eastbound 4:15 to 5:15. Okay, clear? Westbound, it could be 4:15 to 5:15 or westbound had two ends, right? 4:15 to 5:15 or 4:30 to 5:15. Okay, any one of them. Okay, and for the freeway, which value is the highest? 6784, right? Timing? 4:15 to 5:15, right? 4:15 to 5:15. Okay, anybody have any problem? Huh? Clear? Ali?
Yeah.
Clear? Okay. Now the third thing is the peak hour factor. Okay, peak hour factor is volume divided by 4 times maximum flow rate of 15 minutes. Okay, so if I look at eastbound, the volume in the peak hour is 3666, right? Okay, 4 times this value came from 4:15 to 5:15, right? Which is these 4 values, right? And the maximum is 91. How much is that? 0.98. Okay, for westbound, the volume will be 3118. Okay, now what is the maximum 15-minute flow for the westbound? We're doing these 4, right? But the maximum was always 794 in both cases, right? That's why I said it will not change my calculation. 794, and this makes up to be how much? 0.98. Okay, for the freeway, now you know how to do it, right? Okay, how much is it? Peak hour factor for the freeway?
1725.
The value will be the same.
Could be. Is it?
Almost exact.
Okay, clear. Any questions? Any problem? Everything is clear? Okay. Now you can see here that the peak hour and the peak hour factor, the value, the timing of the peak hour and the peak hour factor are same. Volume is obviously different, the flow is different, okay, but the timing and the factor are same. So these are the things we can pick from previous studies and use in future design. Okay, so you are designing a highway for next 25 years. I don't know what will be the traffic in next 25 years. I cannot pick the value, but I can pick the factor, and I can predict that this will be the peak hour. This time will be the peak hour. This is how we use it in the design. Okay. Now the last part of the question is to find out the flow rate for each direction. Okay. To find out the flow rate for each direction. Now I go to the table. Now you see these values which you have calculated in these two columns. These are for each direction, right? These are directional values. Now what do we call them? What are these values?
Flow rate.
They are what?
Continue.
Flow rates? They are not flow rates. Okay. What else?
Flow.
Flow. All these values are flow values because they are for 15 minutes. Okay. These are for 15 minutes. And how do I convert it to flow rate? You always want to do that. Your mind is working backwards. Multiply by 4. Why by 4? Because change to 1 hour. It's 15 minutes, right? You multiply by 4, change to 1 hour. Okay? I have the same problem if somebody tells me a different time zone. Okay? My friend was telling me I'm from UK and I'll call you at this hour, and they are 2 hours behind, right? They are 2 hours behind. No, 3 hours behind. And I did like 3 hours ahead. Okay? So
6 hours.
okay. What was I saying? Multiply by 4. Okay. So to convert this into flow rate, I multiply the value by 4. Okay. All values are 15 minutes, so all values will be multiplied by 4. Okay. It has already been done. See here. Okay. So 876 was the flow, 15 minutes. Multiply by 4, it becomes the flow rate. Okay. 876 multiplied by 4, 3504. This one. Okay. Next one, 901 multiplied by 4. Okay. So convert flow of 15 minutes to flow rate of 1 hour multiplied by 4. Okay. Any questions? Any problems? Not till now. Right? Okay.